How you feeling?
Good. Feel healthy, ready to go.
How hard was it to have to miss, all the couple innings of last season?
I thought originally it was going to be a lot harder than it was, but I found last year in the break that I got and the opportunity to view the game from a different lens than I ever had was an incredible blessing. It was refreshing, and I'm definitely ready to go now, all charged up. So it was a great year. That was something I really needed.
Coach said you've been working a little at first base. What's that been like for you?
It's been really fun just to, also learn from Bella Bacon, who was our first baseman all last year, and she's a great teammate and has helped me out a lot on top of the coaches helping me out. So she definitely has made it a smoother transition in learning that position because I've never played there. But it's been really fun, just a different part of the game, getting to experience it, play it. The more aspects of the game that I'm able to dive into, the more I love the game and as a whole. So it's been really fun.
What are your expectations for yourself this season?
As far as
Anything?
I don't know. Mentally, I hope that our team just goes out there and competes, plays for each other. As far as results, I think that if we take care of the business day in to day out, like Coach said earlier to the fans, starting with the work that needs to be done on the inside individually amongst every girl on the team, all the way through outside, the physical work that we put in, then the scoreboard will take care of itself, and I think that this team is going to win a lot of games. So as far as expectations, just leaving it very open.
Last season saw you in the dugout most of the time, had a clipboard in your hand a lot. What were some of the things they had you working on and charting as you were being kind of an unpaid assistant coach there?
No, so one of the charts that I kept was a chart that I love to reference when I'm out there pitching, and that is just things like first pitch strikes, momentum, how many back-to-back strikes you're getting, how many counts that you convert, hard hits, things like that. Just all kinds of tiny little pitching stats that aren't necessarily in the stat line at the end of the game, but is really good things to look at just in between innings.
You mentioned how last year in a way was a blessing, but with how important religion is to you, did you ever at one point get down and be like, God, why did you do this to me?
I never really had a moment of God, why, but almost God, thank you. Because in a strange way, I know I needed a rest, and I knew that if it was up to me, I was never going to take one. So I almost felt like God was saying, here, you're forced to take one, so take it. And also at the same time, one thing I've personally struggled with as an athlete is just putting so much pressure on myself. Not to say that after this experience I don't anymore, but playing a whole year, having a whole year now where I don't have any pressure on myself, any expectations on myself or from outside, I kind of felt God saying it never had to be this way. It never had to be you feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders, because that's not the expectations I put on you. So my goal for myself this season is to play this year and remember that, and remember the freedom I felt while I was on the sideline, and try to have that same, mindset and relief as I am actually playing, if that makes sense.
How much better does that make you feel compared to last year before you got hurt? Just that freeing feeling.
Yeah, I say it was a great perspective to be able to gain. And again, it's not really a perspective you're able to gain until you're either done with the sport in general or have a break like I did. So it was a big year for just maturity in that way, but also just to realize, sports is a really small part of life. One day it's done for everybody. And just living a year without kind of having that sport in my life, I realized how great this life is outside of just sports. So that's not something I really fear anymore, where I could say maybe in the past I used to.
What's been the best thing about coming back home?
Just the family, the community. Obviously, I have 3 brothers, and I've gotten to be there and support each and every one of them. My oldest brother, he is a coach and a teacher in Papillion, so getting to hear about his days and go to his games. My youngest brother's a basketball player, getting to support him, go to his games. And then my middle brother, Broden, he's a firefighter in Fremont. So I actually got to go up to Fremont the day that he was inducted into the fire service, and that was just a cool thing to be a part of, and all things that I never would have gotten to do if I was not living here. So just things like that have been a blessing.
What does it mean to you to be a team captain this year?
Man, it's an incredible honor, and I take a big responsibility in it. I love this team, and I have a ton of respect for all the girls on our team, and I would say whether I was a captain or not, like my passion for those things wouldn't change whatsoever. So it's just an honor to be a captain. It's a big responsibility, but like I said, whether I was a captain or not, I would still take that same responsibility because I love these girls.
Last season, you quickly had a lot of company on the injury train. I'll ask you, since I forgot to ask Rhonda, how's everybody feeling this year? Is the roster ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, we got a couple girls still coming back, but pretty much everybody's ready to go. And I would say that, well, you can look at like what a bummer it was that we kind of started dropping like flies. At the same time, no one felt alone because whenever we were in there doing our rehab, we were all in there together doing it. So we had a little team of rehabbers, and it's easy to feel isolated once you're not a part of the you're always a part of the team, but once you're not like in the lineup or in the option of the lineup anymore, it can be an isolating feeling, but no one really ever felt isolated because we had several people going through it all together.
I know you got the chance to work with some of those pitchers last year, Caitlin and Emerson, as you were recovering, and with the transfers that you added this offseason too, just what do you think of all the talent there in the pitching rotation?
Our pitching staff is really cool, and everybody brings a different specialty to the table. So I don't think there's a team that we're going to play where we don't have the tools to beat them. And so that's not something that you can say if you have a 1 or 2 man staff, but we are 5 deep in our staff, I believe, 5 or 6, 5 I think. But like I said, like we're stronger when we're all together, and everybody brings such a different look.
You came here, you came here as a transfer last year. You added a bunch in the transfer portal coming into this year. Was there anything you did or this team did to settle them into this team to where they could help out right off the bat?
I think one of the biggest things is just having an environment in your locker room where people are comfortable to be themselves. If you walk into an environment and you feel like you're judged for who you are, or that you just don't fit in, it's going to be really hard to open up and then be comfortable on the field where you can just be yourself and play free. But we have so many different personalities on this team, and even though all of us are so different, we all have like this similar tie. Not only just we have similar goals in mind, but also we're like siblings. Like we can go to practice and battle like siblings, but then we also go to a meal at the training table and sit around the table and joke like a family. But I would say just having that environment where everybody feels loved, everybody feels seen, everybody feels included, everybody feels special because of who they are, that creates a really safe environment for people to just go out on the field and play for one another.
Jordy, you said, or Ava said that January was very long, and now you guys finally have a game coming up next week. Just how does it feel to have something on the schedule that you can see?
Man, it is exciting. We've been working for a really long time, and in 5 days now, we finally get to start what we've been working for. And I think it has felt extra long just because like we didn't really have a true fall season outside of just competing with ourselves. So everybody's excited to have another team in the dugout. But yeah, January did feel long. It felt like it was January 25th for like 2 weeks. I don't know why, but yes, yep.
You have obviously a lot of experience in the World Series. So have you talked to your teammates about what it takes to get there?
We've all talked about what it takes to get there. We know what it takes to get there. We know we have the things to get there. And a big part of that is just going to be staying out of our own way, and kind of being accountable of ourselves, but also help holding each other accountable, of staying 25 strong. That's kind of been our motto leading up to season. We got 25 girls on this team, and we are going to be so strong together that nothing internal or external's not a word. Nothing internal or external is going to break apart what we have together. And I think that's one of the best things and strongest things that a team needs to have to go all the way. And you see that in a lot of championship teams. Like even if the skill isn't what someone would have guessed at the beginning of the season was going to be a championship team, it's the teams that are so tight that they genuinely go out there and play for each other, and that's their biggest motivator. So I think we have that. So it's going to be fun to see what happens.
One of your meets in Florida will be nationally televised on the MLB network. Just what does that mean to you that a lot of eyes can potentially be on this team for your women's team?
I think it's exciting to know that we're going to be on national TV, but I think it's just exciting for the sport in general. A lot of postseason softball's on national TV, maybe big rivalries throughout the season or big conference games, but we're talking about first weekend of the softball season. We're going to be on national TV. I think that's just huge for the sport. It shows how it's growing, and I think that's one of the most exciting things about it.